Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Meet Praneeth. So today in this video, we are going to discuss some very important data that I have gathered from Visa Bulletins starting from November 2023 till March 2024. I know the last video that you must have watched in my channel was for the Visa Bulletin of October 2023. So let me walk you through the data that I have captured and the insights that I think will be very valuable for you. So let's start the video and let's get some insights from it. So before we start about the Visa Bulletin, let me give you a recap of how the trickle-down effect or how the visa numbers are being distributed across employment-based categories happen. So there are 5 main categories: EB1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What happens is the number of green cards that are allotted in employment-based category, that is 140,000. Out of that, 7% goes to each country. For example, India, China, Mexico, Philippines, etc. And the rest goes to all of the rest of the world or all the other countries. Now, the first set of category is EB1, where all these green cards come. Let's say the 7% of them. Whatever is not being used in EB1 goes to EB2, and that goes to EB3. Similarly, whatever comes to EB4 and EB5, whatever is not used from there goes back to EB1. So if you imagine, and let's take some number, let's say there are 1,000 green cards available for Indians. Let's say all of them will come to EB1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And starting from EB1, the first focus will be to finish EB1 backlog, then move to EB2, then 3, 4, and 5. Then 4 and 5, whatever is not used, goes back to EB1. Because India is the most retrogressed country, what happens is, according to the INA Immigration Nationality Act, the most retrogressed country gets most of the leftover green cards to fulfill their backlogs. So that is good for us. Now, one thing that I captured over the final action dates, I was looking at some data, and from November till March, what we have seen is, and I will cover 4 main categories today: F2A, which is for spouses and children of the permanent resident holders of green card in US, then EB1, 2, and 3. What I observed is, if you look at the dates, and it will be on your screen now. So for November 2023, it was for F2A, it was 8 Feb 2019, for EB1, 1 Jan 17, for EB2, 1 Jan 12, and for EB3, 1 May 12. Again, that remained almost like exactly the same for December 2023. However, in January 2024, you see that there is a slight bump in the F2A category. We now see the final election date as 1st November 2019. And for EB1, also we saw a slight jump, that is 1 September 2020. And then for EB2, we saw again a few months of jump from Jan to March 2012. Similarly for EB3, May to June, like 1 month of change. Moving forward, in February, things remained changed, nothing changed much. For F2A, definitely there was a few months of movement. But coming to March 2024, what you see is the F2A moves to 22 Jan 2020, which is again 2 or 3 months of movement. For EB1, good news, 1st October 2020, that means it's moving, the backlog is reducing. It's a very important point, so keep a note of it. Now for EB2 and EB3, not much change. So the question comes, what is exactly happening? How is this movement happening? So there are 2 or 3 things that we can think of. First is, let's talk about the total number of visas that are allotted. So for fiscal year 2024, 226,000 green cards are available for family-based and 140,000 are available for employment-based. Out of that, as you know, 7% goes to per country gap. So India in total gets 25,620 green cards, including family and employment-based. Now, if you look, 38% of that is employment-based. So it seems that there is some trickle down happening, because you can see that there is some movement you can see in the family-based category. So it seems that there is some not unused visas coming from other countries, from rest of the world, that is current for EB1, that is current for other categories, is coming to help our EB1 movement, and also some movement for EB2 and EB3. The movement in EB2 and EB3 is very slight. The reason is, as you know, the trickle-down effect works from EB1 to EB2 to EB3, and anything that is not used in EB4 and EB5 from other countries is also coming back to EB1. So in total, I think in the coming year, in coming months, or probably this year, you will see more movement in EB1. That is the insights that I have gathered. Now, the other very interesting thing that I found out is I have some statistics which will be coming on your screen in a second. Look at the statistics. This statistics tells us how many green cards were given from the year 2013 till 2022. And I'm showing the data for two countries, India and China. If you look at these numbers, you'll see that at an average around 50,000 green cards are being given per year. And in 2022, for India, it's more than 100,000 green cards. Question comes that I told you that in a year, only 25,000 or so green cards can be given. So how that number is high? That is the reason that all the rest of the world, if that is not using all the green cards and it's current, that green card will come back to India because India is the most retrogressed country. Again, there are more insights you can gather from this data because, as I told, 38% of 25,000 green cards is going to employment base. So we can basically calculate across these years what was the employment based percentage, and then correlate that number with the number of people waiting in H1B line, which is approximately 500,000 to 1 million people. And then we can come and see exactly in real time how much of people will be waiting and how many years will it take for them to get to a green card. The other thing is there is a recent changes in H1B, which I will discuss in the upcoming videos. And if you think this insight that I gathered from the data from USCIS, if you want more insights on it, let me know. I will be very happy to do some statistical analysis and present some data to you. Till now, what I have seen is I'm very happy with the movement that is happening in EB1. That was very, very necessary because we have been waiting. At some point, it went back to 2013, 2012, which was disastrous. So it's good that USCIS is able to fulfill that backlog, and now probably in the coming year or probably in this year itself, we'll see EB1 moving forward. The aim would be to see EB1 current because that's the most prestigious class. And as you will see, and you know that EB2 is backlogged, EB3 is backlogged. Thank you for watching till here. I'll take a few moments from here to explain what I offer in the EB1 consulting service. So I have this service on discovereb1greencard.com where you can go ahead, set aside time and talk to me to explore EB1. Now, if specifically you are an Indian citizen who is stuck in the EB2 or EB3 line and you think you have acquired tons of experience, a professional experience in your field, in your niche, and you think it's time for you to know what EB1 is or how you can apply, then you should go ahead and set aside some time for us to talk. My aim in this call would be to help you understand the requirements, the conditions, and how you can fulfill the gaps to get to a strong EB1 profile. I have started this consulting service in 2023 April. Until now, I've almost helped more than 200 plus professionals. So why wait? Go on to the service. You can find the link in the description or it will be on the screen, and let's talk and let me help you discover EB1. Now let's get back to the video. Coming back to the video, as you know that EB2, EB3 is stagnant. There's a movement, but it's a very little movement. I would not say that it's a very huge movement. Now, I think one thing that we will definitely see is once we have got EB1 to current, then if there's not much green cards being used in that category, then the trickle down effect could be seen for EB2 and EB3, specifically because India is most retrogressed. The green cards coming from rest of the world, which is now helping EB1, will start to help EB2 and EB3 once EB1 becomes current. So this was the insight. I wanted to just give you a reference frame of how things are working, how these numbers look, and hopefully you might have gathered a lot of information from this video. So I'll see you in the next video very soon. Till then, take care of yourself and bye-bye.